you like as a partner in marriage?
I must have been a partner of what I hear. No, I was very generous and tried to be supportive. We were together 15 years, Kimora and I. And for 8 years, we were married. Another 7 before that, we were back and forth. And then I was best friends with Kimora throughout the entire raising of my children. I'm the godfather to all 3 of her other children. I was good friends with Jaimin. I was good friends with this Tim Leissner. So I tried to be as flexible and as accommodating and supportive. And then, you know, sometimes things don't work out. You've seen there's a lawsuit. I had no choice. I think Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Lord Buddha, anybody would have sued.
Why?
It's a lot of money and it can help a lot of people. She gave what is now, today, based on the stock, $800 million to the government illegally. And now I'm fighting to get my half of it back. And it was in support of Tim, who, as you know, is a convicted criminal. And they stole, I think it was $6 to $8 billion from the Malaysian people. And his bail was my stock, which had no right to be.
Kimora alleges that you didn't use any of your own money to buy the stock. You didn't use
not alleges. Tim paid for stock.
Own money to
Tim bought the stock.
Invest in her investment company?
It was my company. Tim put money in my company and we bought the stock. It's obvious. The government will figure that out. It was mine. I found the company. I built the company. I reformulated the drink. I got LeBron and Kobe and Kim Kardashian and Puffy and everybody to promote it. It was nothing. And now it's worth $16 billion, right? And I was part of that process. In fact, it would never have existed if not for me. That's a fact. So I did the work and I owned the stock. And then one day they just took it behind my back and gave it to the government as his bail. And then it was only worth $60 or $70 million then. Plenty of money for me. I'm a billionaire. I live in Bali. It's cheap. I have what I have. I'm happy. The fact that it's gone up, ballooned up to 800 million is quite maybe I should thank everybody if, when it gets all resolved. But in the short term, there are people I can't help. There are philanthropic, social, and political concerns that I would normally help.
What are the steps that have to happen?
Well, I don't even go into legality. Yeah. Well, the government has now moved back and said they want to negotiate. They don't want to go to trial over it because they want to go to forfeiture. So they said they're going to negotiate. We hope that we can make a reasonable, I hate that I give them anything. I offered them 10% of my half. And then she's sitting on a bunch of it that she can't cash either. So the stock is totally at the mercy of the market, how much money it is. Mm-hmm. And it goes up sometimes what's equal to $100 million and down. I built this hotel thinking I had the stock too. So from a liquidity standpoint, it really put a crunch on me.
How so?
No liquidity. I can't go do a lot of I didn't make rapper money like Kanye West. I was a different era. But I made enough. And yes, there's a liquidity crunch. It's there. It's not, I'll survive.
How does it affect you?
The only thing that affects me about this is my children being upset with me. I love them more than I love everything. And when my children have a narrative about me that is not accurate, and my children actually publicly say that I've been in some way not acted well. I've always been the one to hold space for them. They could curse me out, yell at me. They know that I love them unconditionally, that I cannot unlove them.
Because there was a period where they called you emotionally abusive. They thought you might be mentally ill.
Do I seem mentally ill to you?
I mean,
you never know what's in the back of my head. Maybe I'm crazy.
Right.
Well, when I first sued, I said, you illegally took my money and you criminally gave it to the government as bail. You misrepresented who owned it. And the response is, yes, some of the money is yours, but you've been abusive. Why am I the godfather to the 3 boys? Why did I go on every vacation with her and her husband just to be near my kids? And why did I continue to be the very best friend that she had? You can call anybody that's known us. None would agree with that narrative. None. So it's very hurtful. But you know what my job is? Not even to discuss it, really. there's nothing I can do to convince anyone, or nor should I need to convince people. I have not responded to any of the negative stuff in the media, the attacks, at all. Yesterday, you were with me when my daughter texted me. Tomorrow, I close on their new apartment, the 23-year-old and 21-year-old, to say that I'm the deadbeat when I paid $50,000 a month for 20 years and still pay. And I'm still signing a new lease for the two of them to live in Manhattan, so one can model and the other one can go back to school. When this settles, I'm gonna put a chunk of money in their account. They can tell both of us to off. That's the plan. I think that may be part of the reason we're not so quick to settle, because I would give them independence.
What steps do you take to avoid letting it just destroy you as a parent?
I meditate daily. I take my walks. I send nurturing and beautiful messages to them every day that I know that they digest. They send me back, I love you, thank you. And I accept that, and I haven't spoken publicly about this, I'm telling you this stuff, I accept that this may not be a good move. You know, the public spat you saw started when I said a mother should make it easy for a father to see a child. The day I sued her mother, they stopped following me on Instagram. That day. And that day the mother said, you'll never speak to them again. And so I speak to them behind their back almost every day. And I still support them. But, you know, it's tough. They started to receive a different narrative and started to really be more difficult to manage my relationship with them. I think that they're old enough to know that their parents aren't perfect. Their mother loves them and their father loves them. And a dispute that we have will be resolved. They know I found and created and reformulated and branded and built that company. They know that I owned half of it. But I don't think it's up to them to judge or have to make any decisions about it. I did say when I said, could you tell your mother to call me? You're with her every day. You know what she did. Can you call her to the table? I can't unlove her, right? Much less unlove my children. So I know that it'll be resolved.
You still love your ex-wife?
Well, you know, I love what she's done for my children. I love the experiences we had together. And I know that she's suffering. Hurt people, right? And I know the beauty that's inside of her. I know that she knows she made a terrible mistake by giving the government the stock. And I know that she knows, as she said even when she responded to the lawsuit, and I don't know why we're still fighting over it, because it would help a lot of people if we freed it up.